Hello, how you doing? My name's Jamal Brown, and this show is called Out of Creative. It's a show that focuses on creatives, designers, singers, rappers, entrepreneurs, creative of all types. Today we have Chasity Crocker with us. She is a designer, and we're going to talk to her about her process, her motivation, and you know, and where you can find her stuff. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
So, number one, where you from originally?
I'm originally from Tennessee.
Tennessee?
hmm
Okay. How's that transition to Southern California? How was that?
it was easy. I got here by way of the military,
Mm-hmm.
so I've lived all over, kind of like most of all my adult life, and then I landed here in California, so I really like it.
Okay, okay. Um, so what is your products? I know you do like hats and garb. Can you explain?
Yeah, so I mostly focus on fashion accessories right now. Things like
Mm-hmm.
neckties with jewelry, kind of like accented jewelry on them.
Mm-hmm.
Hijabs. I'm very much into like cultural pieces and things like that. I also do hats and scarves as well. And then in the future, I'll be looking at doing blazers and skirts.
Blazers and skirts.
Yes.
Um, hold up. Sorry. We having a technical difficulty here.
Okay.
There you go. Blazers and skirts.
Yes.
All right, good. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Take your time.
That's what happens when you're creative. You be like,
You got to
be-
troubleshoot too?
yeah, you be messing up stuff. You build it as you go.
Tech support. I get it.
Cause I was like, I'm not hearing her in my headphones.
I don't hear you either.
Nah, you ain't supposed to
Oh.
hear me. I'm supposed to hear you.
Okay.
Is you hear yourself?
I don't hear myself.
Well, can you? Well, we ain't even going to. You fine, though.
Okay.
You're especially good. I see. Because I was like, where's her levels at? Well, we good. That part
Okay.
of the interview, we're going to
Okay.
keep it in there.
Cool. That works. That works then.
So, the accessories you do and you put on ties, do you do any for men ties or just females?
Well, right now I've kind of been focusing on women, but obviously the idea came from like menswear. So I would definitely, kind of start creating some pieces for men. I'm doing like some custom pieces. I'm really into sports, so I can kind of do something like themed towards football, baseball, basketball, things like that. Like I said, right now I'm just doing jewelry, but I can definitely add some, male accented pieces to it.
There's something. I'm happy you brought up sports and fashion because I don't even know if I should share this.
You should.
I'm going to. I always tell people because every year they have like spring colors and fall colors and this and that. What colors are always around spring and summer, and no matter what?
Yeah.
What colors are consistent?
Usually you're kind of looking at your greens, which is like one of my favorite colors.
Wrong answer.
You don't like green?
No, team colors.
Oh, team colors.
Team colors
Okay.
never change.
Okay.
So
got
in
you.
the spring, baseball team colors are the same.
Same. Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Football colors in the fall are the
Okay.
same every year. So when I think of color schemes, I always think of team colors.
Okay. I like
Not
that.
necessarily what the news is telling me.
Right. Or for
is-
fashion
yeah,
per
or
se.
fashion.
Got
Because
you.
those team colors are always in fashion.
That is true. That
It-
is very true.
People always match things to team colors.
That's a good point. I'm actually I'm gonna do something with that.
Yeah, I didn't really want to give that away. 'Cause that was
Appreciate the
my
golden
own-
nugget.
Yeah, that was my thing. I always like, why don't people just do team colors for
Yeah.
everything?
No, I
Black
like
and
that.
yellow,
Yeah.
orange and royal blue, white and royal blue, navy
Yes.
blue and white.
Yep, and as you'll see, I do have like those colors. You'll
Yeah.
definitely see some white and blue in here as well. And I also kind of like, matching it up to like sororities and fraternities
Yeah,
as
that
well.
too.
So
Colleges,
Yeah.
this and that.
exactly.
So what motivated you to get into this?
Well, I wanted to be like a fashion designer when I was a kid. I used to always kind of like sketch draw and things like that. But then, like once I graduated, it was a teenage pregnancy, so I was like, man, I got to be an adult right now. So I was like, I guess I'll just join the military. You know, I need a paycheck coming in. So I kind of did that and put my childhood dream off. And so now, you know, as my kids are older and like in college and things like that, I was like, this would probably be a good time for me to kind of chase that dream I always wanted. So
well, you're not necessarily old, you know, where you can't do anything.
Right, for sure. It's just now I have the time, you know.
Gotcha.
I got the time to be able to do it, so I'm excited.
What about like marketing? How are you marketing right now?
Right now, marketing, it's very kind of low key. I'm only on Instagram right now, and I do like different like trade shows like down in LA and as a vendor. But I'm actually working on getting a website built here probably within like the next 3 to 4 weeks. Just kind of looking at some people on Fiverr, Upwork, and then I've also reached out to some other people who've used some web designers.
Got you.
Definitely trying to get the marketing piece up.
Yeah, because I looked at your IG and I like some of the ties you have, but I had noticed. I said, I don't know if I could wear one of these ties because I don't want nobody to get the wrong impression.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely targeted to a more female audience, which I'm really, you know, kind of like women's fashion. I love like kind of like the androgynous fashion, you know, neckwear, like I said, ties, blazers, things like that, you know.
Too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, have you ever thought about getting into lingerie because of some of the neckwear and stuff that you make? I was like, okay.
Yes, I have thought about that. I do need to like kind of work on my skill set a little bit more as far as like being able to sew it. But as far as drawing some things, I have worked on a few lingerie pieces. I definitely want to get into sleepwear as well.
Have you ever thought about taking your sketches and like doing like a mass production in like China? Or any of those things?
I hadn't gotten that far with it. I had reached out to, I mean, everybody knows the website Alibaba, you know, so I had reached out to a few companies on there. I guess the thing I was a little bit hesitant about is having all this product and then possibly it not selling, you know, and just having it stored. But I would definitely be interested in like working with a brand or a company that already exists and they already have a fan base. So if I could kind of like do some sketches for them and then they do the product development, I would like to do that even for like a percentage. You know, I don't necessarily have to be a full-time worker, but just a designer.
If you're doing lingerie, I suppose it's not a lot of sewing that goes into that because it's not really a lot of material.
It's not a lot of material. It's not a lot of material, but you know, you do have to get, you know, the measurements right. You've got a lot of times depending on what the textile is, a lot of times we're using lace or satin, you know, things like that. So there are some pieces that do have to be sewn.
Got you. So right now, like, do you have a spot where you get the ties, or you just get them as like, ooh, I like that, I'm gonna deal with that one?
That's how it started out. It started out, I was just kind of like walking around the mall and I was like, ooh, you know, I really like this tie, I'm going to buy it. And then I was like, oh, I kind of got like some little jewelry and stuff laying around. Let me play around with this for a little bit. So I did that. And then later on, I reached out to, again, some companies, you know, on the Alibaba website. And then I decided not to go there. And I reached out to a company who does wholesale menswear in New York. And that's where I decided to like purchase the ties from, and got like a few varieties, different colors. And then as far as the jewelry piece of it, I just kind of like do my own shopping for what I like.
How hard is it getting everything together with life and everything? You know, life and work and this and that. Like, how hard is it to pursue your passion?
It's definitely been challenging. Like, a lot of times I feel like there's not enough time in the day. And, you know, like I said, I'm in school right now, and I also work part-time. And so, like I said, of course, housework never ends. You got to keep up on the house. So I'm just kind of like trying to really fit it in mostly on the weekends right now.
I've had some other guests, like some actresses, and I noticed you're a mom.
Yes.
So I'm always like rooting for moms because I got a mom. Everybody got a mom, but I'm always rooting for them because I know I don't have children.
Okay. Yeah.
So and life's difficult without children. So if you have them, like, what type of advice do you have for somebody who's pursuing their dream, also maintaining a household as a mother?
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely say small steps count. You know, a lot of times we'll get like overwhelmed thinking about the big picture or thinking we have to have it all figured out like right then and there. And as I was kind of going through this, I was like, that's not the case. You know, all you got to do is just take small steps. A lot of times for me, I write things down. If I can't necessarily get to it right away, I'll write it down. So at least it's out of my brain and I can come back to it and then just figure out like where I can carve it in on my schedule, even if it's like an hour a day or maybe 3 hours a week. You know, I don't have to do those 3 hours at one time. You know, maybe I can put in an hour right before I have a cup of coffee or when I'm having coffee, or I can do an hour before bed. You know, it's just kind of up to your own personal schedule. But definitely, like I said, just small steps because they do add up to big leaps and bounds.
Yes, they do. Because I can imagine being somebody with no kids and being overwhelmed
Right.
all the time. Like, oh my gosh, too much on my plate. Why is it 48 hours in a day? Why am I tired? I shouldn't be tired.
The struggle of life.
I'm getting older. I can't stay up as late as I used to be. You know, because when I was young, you know, I could like, I don't really drink or smoke weed or nothing. But when I was young, yeah. So I was like, how was you doing that? Like, how was you indulging, smoking weed and drinking and doing all this stuff and staying up 2 days? Like, how was you doing that?
Still functioning.
Yeah, functioning fine. I might have been grumpy.
Oh, I get it. I do. Life's a challenge.
Being a person who's been in the military, did you pull inspiration from going to many different places?
I would say I have pulled inspiration from going different places. When I was deployed, I was in Kuwait, which is, you know, like a Muslim country. And so a lot of the women are wearing like burqas or hijabs and things like that. So I definitely feel like that played a huge part in influencing me on what I like. I love like worldly things. I love travel and things like that. So I try to just let that creative expression come out in my designs.
Okay. I seen on like your hijabs, they were very decorative. Like they were really pretty.
Thank you.
I never been to the Middle East, but in the Middle East, are there hijabs like decorative and things of that nature?
There are usually for the more kind of decorative ones, they kind of wear those to like parties or weddings or events like that. But like some of your everyday wear, they're usually just kind of like a basic color. Just plain
white.
black, white, neutral colors, things like that. I like things that sparkle, so that's kind of why I went there and put my own twist on it.
I noticed Nike were making hijabs at one point. Have you ever thought about getting into like the sportswear side of it? I think because I don't know what material, but it's one of those sweatable, breathable, like what they make like those tight shirts out of.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I haven't thought about doing like a sportswear for hijabs, but I do teach yoga, and so a way for me to kind of combine my passion with fashion and yoga is to develop an athletic wear. So I'm actually working on like creating a yoga line. I do have some designs and sketches. It's just all about, you know, reaching out to manufacturers and things like that. So just trying to combine all my passions to fulfill my dreams.
And how hard is that process of getting distributors or manufacturers?
Okay, it's not hard. It's just more so tedious. You know, as we go on Alibaba, you can look at their ratings. Definitely look at, you know, how many stars they have by the company. And I also kind of try to reach out to other people who may be in the same line of work and get their advice. Because you can also ask for like a sample, you know, before you buy from them. I definitely would say get a sample before you make any large purchases. And then also, just some advice someone gave me was to put those purchases on a credit card. You know, that way, if anything happens, you know, you can dispute the charges and you're not out of money. You know, as a business, you can take a lot of losses.
Oh,
so.
Yeah, I heard about Alibaba.
Yeah.
And, I tell you, one time I ordered this weight bench during COVID from some company in China, like, and I'm waiting forever to get my, my tracking information. So my tracking information came, and my package was coming, and I'm like, yeah. And my weight bench turned out to be a pack of COVID masks. I got my money back because I did use a credit card.
Okay.
I was so excited. I was like, "Where's the box?" Because there was no working out.
Right.
Due to COVID.
Exactly.
Another thing, you're a sister, and I'm a brother,
Mm-hmm.
and you do yoga, and I always like to ask my guests about your mom as well, and you're doing a bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it to you to maintain like good mental health? And what are some advice you have for maintaining good mental health?
Okay, yeah. For me, like I definitely like working out. I know they always say like it releases endorphins and things like that, but me, it's kind of more for like a lifestyle. So definitely staying active. I also like doing meditation, just kind of getting that whole mind-body connection there, and it just kind of like takes me to a whole nother place. I would also say like go out in nature. If you can do any walks, do any hikes, sit by the ocean, like anytime, just like walk barefoot on the grass, anything to kind of like keep yourself grounded so that you kind of feel that connection and bring yourself back to yourself.
Yeah. Yoga. Which type of yoga?
Vinyasa.
That's not the hot one, right?
You can do vinyasa in a hot yoga studio setting, but vinyasa is more of kind of like easy flowing, slow transitions.
Okay.
It's definitely not like power yoga where you like sweating it out.
Yeah, I've done hot yoga.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan. I'm really not a fan of hot yoga. I've done it more than once. It's just that it was. I think something you have to be consistent.
Yeah, you do.
To get used to it, because it was like the first time I went, and I wasn't like I did it. I did it, but I was like, oh my God! And I think I was real cranky for the rest of the whole day.
No, see, it's opposite for me. Like when I do hot yoga, I feel really good. I feel like super energized. I'm like, oh man, I just like all the toxins are gone. Like it was just new life for me.
No.
So.
Then every time after, you go in there, and people would give up. And lay down for a little bit. So I had this thing in my head because I would always just want to be like, man, I'm ready to give up. Yeah. So I'd be like. After 3 people go down, then I go down. Because I just ain't want to, because number one, typically the only brother in there, I was like, I'm not going down first. I'm not going down first. Yes. So as soon as people start giving up, I'll be like, oh, it's time. Soon after the 3rd person, I got to be the 4th.
Yeah, I get it. I do. It is tough. It is. I'm not going to lie.
So I think that's really important to talk about, especially being a creative person.
Yes.
Finding some time to take care of your mind, your body, and your spirit.
Yes.
So that you can continue to be creative.
For sure,
Do you have a special diet?
I don't really have like a special diet. I don't like to use the word diet, but sometimes I'll go through periods where I'm like, I'm not gonna eat meat. Okay. I don't eat pork. I just don't, I just don't like pork. I feel like it's not really good for me. But I do go through periods where like I don't eat meat for like maybe 7 days or something like that. And I try to just like be mindful. I take a ton of herbs, like Sprouts and Whole Foods probably gets the best of my money. But I definitely kind of like a holistic lifestyle, like a bunch of herbs, collagen, things like that. Those kind of things.
The reason I think those questions are important for people to hear is because without this, then there's nothing.
Right.
That's so like true. A major part of being a creative person. Or you can go the other route and take like cocaine and get drunk and die, and people be like, "We love this work. He was a genius."
That's true. It happens. Yeah, it does.
But if you want to be a more healthy person, and you being healthy and having a healthy lifestyle, how does that help your process?
I think, it kind of just gives me more like a clear mind, I feel like. But also with that, like your mental state is very important, not just like physically what you're putting in your body, but also kind of like what you consume, what you listen to, the things that you do, the things that you read and things like that. And then obviously who you surround yourself around. I try to be intentional and surround myself like around other creative people, that whole kind of like exchange of energy and transfer of energy and things like that. And I like will watch things that give me inspiration, whether it's music videos, or looking at House Hunters International, like anything like that. I would just say like the things that are true to my nature, when they speak to me, I just kind of like let it flow how it comes.
Let it flow. When's the last time you seen something that makes you say, I need to make something based off of this that I just seen?
A couple of weeks ago, we had a lot of rain here in California, and I was in Dana Point and just kind of doing like a walk. And as I got down to the bottom, closer to the beach, there were like all these stones and rocks that had washed up onto the shore. And in between it was like all these beautiful seashells and like glass rocks and things like that. So I collected it and I was like, oh, I can't do any fashion with it per se, but I could do like a resin art project with it. And that's something I've always wanted to do. So I ended up, like I said, just purchasing like the epoxy resin and stuff like that. So I'm currently trying to work on like putting that together, and seeing how it looks. And I don't have like, it doesn't have to look a particular way or anything. It's just more so about the feeling for me. Like, do I feel happy when I'm creating this? Like, is it a joyous occasion, And like I said, just kind of keeping that going.
Got you. Do you think you'll start dabbling in art and selling art?
I would like to. I think I will. I probably not anytime soon, but I definitely could see myself getting to that point. Like I said, because anything that allows you to create and design, and kind of make it your own and that's unique to you, those things really speak to me. So I definitely would do that. As far as selling it, I don't know. I might like just keep it for myself or, give it as a gift to someone. Yeah.
I don't know about giving it as a gift. Because people have,
Yes.
I'm just messing with you.
I know. Like, I'll give it to my mom. She'll never turn my work down.
Mine neither.
She'll never turn it down.
Fan.
Yes.
Biggest fan. What, like on your garments, like what price points are you at?
Well, I sell the hijabs for starting at $60, and then they go up till about $80. Like some of the more decorative pieces are $80, and then for my the hats, I sell those for $20, and then the neckties, those range as well, starting from $20 to about $45. Okay. So obviously, the more decorative ones are a little bit more pricey.
And when you like, what kind of stones do you use? Do you use like Swarovski?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I'm sorry, crystal man.
Yeah, some of them are the Swarovski crystals.
Okay.
Some of them are those. I'm a huge fan of like the fashion district and the jewelry district in downtown LA. So a lot of times I'll get some of my things from there. Just kind of like here and there, whatever I see that kind of catches my eye. But some of those are, like I said, the Swarovski crystals.
Yeah, I love putting those crystals on stuff, and I can't pronounce it for years and years and years.
Yes.
But what other materials?
Let's see. I've got, I do have some things like some ribbon, and the ribbon is basically kind of like the African colors. I have some pieces that have like some giraffes on them. It's very much like, I guess you would say, like an African themed necktie. It's got like your black, your orange, greens, yellows, things like that. Like I said, different little pieces like giraffes and elephants, something that kind of, speaks to the continent as well. So usually, like I said, just I've got a few pieces that have some buttons and things like that. I've also got some that have like safety pins. I don't know if you remember, like everybody was kind of rocking like the big safety pins and things like that.
Like
so
what is that, like the TLC?
Yeah. So I have some things like that. So like I said, it's just kind of whatever speaks to me, I'll just go with it.
Yeah, and in fashion, especially now, fashion is not like a one-lane thing.
Right.
Like back when I was coming up, it's like you had to be this way, look this
Right.
way. Now these kids have it to where anything goes.
Basically,
Like
yeah.
they do whatever they want to do.
Yes.
I don't think they tease each other. Like,
Yeah, they don't. They don't. Yeah, they don't. I always, around here it's kind of like it's in to kind of wear like the high water pants.
I've noticed that.
Yeah.
I've noticed that for a couple years now. It's like, okay, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's
like,
so in here.
Yeah.
I'm like, they would get clowned.
High water pants. And one day I asked a girl, I was like, why don't you guys clean your sneakers?
Yep.
I said, what's up with that? She was like, the worse they look, like the more props you get for them.
Yeah.
I was like, really?
It's like that bum chic look.
Yeah,
so.
I won't ever get into that
yeah,
one. Like,
same.
Yeah,
it's not our generation, I don't think.
No, you won't catch me in some of those sneakers.
No, I'm good too. I am.
If you see me in those, you call a rehabilitation
It's
center.
a bad day. It's a bad day.
That's more than a day. That's Jamal ain't
He's
doing
down.
good. Yeah,
he's down on his
man
luck.
down. It might be a coastal thing as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the kids, I know the East Coast is just not like that.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Like I said, very much got to be a West Coast thing.
Yeah, I don't want to take shots at the West Coast because I live out here, but just from my experience, even in LA, like clubbing and this and that, I'd be like, man, these are not the most fashionable people.
Yeah.
And I'm not shooting at them. You know, they cool. I love California.
Right.
It's beautiful. But I'd be like, man, I think fashion is an East Coast thing.
Yeah. And like I said, I don't. It's
I ain't
so
gonna
different.
say fashion's an
Yeah.
East Coast. I don't want to shoot at them like that. But I'm just saying, like,
What we're accustomed to
really
seeing.
getting fresh.
Yeah.
Like, because you're from Tennessee,
Right.
which I consider that's like East Coast.
East Coast, yeah, it is. Yeah.
I've been in Tennessee, and yeah, they like to get fresh. Everybody like clean sneakers.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that whole East Coast line is influenced by New York.
Okay.
I'm from New York.
Yes.
So I think it starts getting
I can see
everybody has
that.
their own identity,
Right.
from state to state, Atlanta, and all of that. But it's all influenced
Yeah.
by New York, and I think out here is more influenced by like Mexican culture.
Yes.
That might be the high waters.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, I can't call it. I don't know, but.
And gangbang culture.
Yeah, for
as
sure.
far as the brothers are concerned.
Yeah.
So they all kind of. I ain't gonna say they can't dress, but I'm just gonna say like they not.
They got a
not
certain,
what-
they got a certain look that they're going for, and that's their.
It looks good on them.
Yeah. We're gonna let y'all keep that. You can have that.
Yeah,
So.
because when I put this out, I don't want them to be
I
like,
know.
yeah, homie, he can't. What you mean, homie?
Edit this out. Edit this out.
Yeah, like I don't want to get shot.
Yeah, I
East
get
Coast
it.
man shot because he don't like the way people in California dress.
Oh, we don't need it. We don't need
No,
it.
we don't. We don't. Have you been in New York?
I have. I went. Let me see. Maybe about 2 years ago, only on like a day trip, but I loved it. It's so different than California.
Very.
It's very different. Using the subway system, that was an adventure on its own. But yeah,
it's different.
it's very nice there.
Reason I asked is because of the fashion district in New York. Like, I just think you could do that's where I get my fashion motivation.
Okay.
Comes from New York, being that I'm a New York person. And I lived in Atlanta for a while, who has their own, they got their thing.
Right. They got their cultural piece.
Yeah, they got their thing too. But if I see sometimes a person from Atlanta, I can't tell that person from a New Yorker from time to time. Same with Tennessee.
Right.
Same with Tennessee. What part of Tennessee?
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga?
Yeah. It's about 2 hours from Atlanta.
Yeah, I've been to Chattanooga quite a bit on the water.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
beautiful up
it
there.
really is.
It
Yeah, I
is.
got the little buses, the
Yeah.
little free buses
Yeah.
that take you around.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really nice. And they've done like a lot of kind of like growing the area, especially the downtown area,
It's real
really making
cute.
it nice and attractive, especially for tourism. So
Yeah, because that's what we would just go there and spend
Yeah.
the night and just hang out
Yeah, hang
and
out.
walk around and eat at the little restaurants.
yeah.
What's that barbecue place called? It's like on MLK.
Oh my, let me
It's
see.
called Chats or something like that.
I'm not sure. There's a
After
few.
the interview, I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
That was like the best barbecue in Chattanooga I ever had.
Okay, yeah, show me out, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna reach out to my mom too, because I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure she knows about it
It
as
was
well.
a mean spot. We took, cause it was like MLK coming from like the downtown
area, yeah.
and it was like, don't go too far in.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
Yeah, it's a little rough down
They
there.
said, don't go too far in. Like the barbecue spot is right there.
Yeah.
Before you go.
That's the stopping point.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like after that, you on your own.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed though.
Yeah, I'm glad. I haven't been back in some time. I need to try to get out there this year though.
Let me ask you, what as far as fashion is concerned that you brought from Tennessee?
Oh, geez, that's a tough one right there.
Really?
Yeah, I guess I've never really thought about it, and that's only because I left Tennessee when I was like 19 years old, so that's been like 20 years now. And I, like I said, and I only kind of just go back, like once a year to visit. But definitely when I go home, I notice, it's very much more of it's a relaxed lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
more jeans, t-shirt, things like that. Except, like if you're getting ready to go out, then, like I said, they're coming on point when they step out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
be. And it's kind of a small place too. So, like you want to make sure if somebody runs into you that knows you, that you look good as well. So
Yeah, that's the thing
Yeah.
too. Like, don't go out because you never know.
you never know, who
who
you
you're
gonna
gonna run
see.
into,
Exactly.
and also you never know where the day is going to take you.
Right.
You might plan on being out for 5 minutes and be out for 5 hours.
Exactly.
Tell us about your children.
Okay. So I have 3 daughters, ages 20, 19, and 17. My oldest 2 are in college, and then my youngest daughter should be graduating from high school this year. So everybody will be in college at the end of this year, and yeah, I'm looking forward to like that empty nest,
Really?
empty nest stage.
You ready for them to go? All of them?
They're ready to go.
Yeah.
So, and I do feel like they're ready. There was a time where I was like, no, I don't think we're quite right there just yet.
Nah,
But
now you just found out. I know one of your daughters.
Right.
She's a sweetheart and she's super talented, and I wish her the best. Well, I'm gonna work with her some more,
Yeah.
so I don't mean to say it like that. I'm saying it like
No.
like we had beef or something. Like
Right.
I wish her the best,
sorry, not sorry.
I see her doing things. Like I see her going places because she's so dedicated. Did she get that from you?
I'd like to think so. We do kind of like have similar personalities in that way. Very kind of like outgoing and willing to try anything. Just put yourself out there. So I would like to say that she gets that from me, but I probably have to let her answer the question.
She is definitely one of the more driven people that I know. Another impressive thing about her is that her word is her word. If she tells you that she's going to be there, she's coming. I don't never have to worry about her.
Yes, thank you.
Never,
Thank you.
Never. She's do you pull inspiration from your children?
I do actually. There was a period where I was kind of like, dragging my feet with my clothing line because I was like, it's not really, kind of taking off how I wanted to. I don't really, know what else I should do. You know how sometimes you may kind of doubt yourself a little. But I saw like really how hard my daughter was working, and she'll easily do like 10, 12 hours on set, and then she'll come home and work on homework, and then she'll go to work. And I told her, I said, Kyla, you know what? Like, you are really motivating me right now. Like, you have no idea, And so I've definitely, seeing how well she moves, and even when she's tired, a lot of times as we get older, it's like, I'm tired, I'm gonna take a nap, but she'll get tired and just still keep going. She's like, I got my Red Bull, so I'm gonna keep going, So, but definitely, like I said, pull inspiration from them. Even my my younger two daughters, my middle daughter, she's very much into fashion and things like that, music, all of those things. And so I actually have her teaching me how to play piano right now.
I wanna just mention something about the world.
Mm-hmm.
The world is a extremely small place because I met your daughter here,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been in my films, my
Yes.
short films, and she's been a pleasure. But I also met your other daughter at the juice bar in San Clemente.
Okay.
And I didn't know that they were sisters. So I was in a juice bar one day, and I was messing with your daughter, and I was like, I'm calling corporate on you, this and that. And she was spooked, and I was like, I'm just messing with you. Going forward, I meet Kyla. I always say her name wrong.
Yeah, it's okay.
I meet her, and then she was like, oh, yeah, I used to work at that juice bar.
Yep.
My sister works there now. And I was like, yo, I think I was in there, and I was picking on your sister. She was like, oh, my God, that was you? So they didn't know. That was just out the blue. So you get here today, and you ask me, like, do you know my daughter? And I'm like, yeah. The reason that is important to me is that it's important to make sure that you maintain, like, a good reputation going around. You agree?
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
you don't know who knows who and who knows what. So I met mom, daughter, and daughter on my own without meeting you all together.
Yeah.
And your younger daughter don't come around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know that. And that's just. That is amazing to me because I met her first because I was like,
Yeah, that is crazy. Small world.
So what you doing back there laughing or something like that? I'm calling corporate, like, and she was like, no, like, please, like, I was like,
she's very like,
you in trouble now.
Yeah, she will get kind of like, oh my God, what did I do? Like panicky. I'm like, I
was just
pipe down,
picking on them.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that you had met my other daughter. Yeah. Well, then there's one more. I got one more.
She may have come here to watch the premiere.
Okay.
So I think I met all three of your daughters.
Okay, yeah, you may have.
But the first one, whichever one was working at the juice bar, I met just messing around in the juice bar.
That's Kira.
Then I meet Kyla.
Yep.
And then I was like, that's your sister? And it was just weird because I was like, man, what a small world.
Yeah, it
that
is.
she even told you that happened to her.
Yeah. She comes home and gives all the tea. All the tea. So, oh, my God, these people at work, let me tell you.
So that is a blessing to meet you and you be doing the things that you're doing, which is probably inspiring them more than you know.
Oh, thank you. I guess I never considered that.
And that I was on point and I wasn't having a bad day to have an attitude. You'd be like, hold up, that you know my daughter? You know what I'm saying? Like, was that you who said that? So that gives me perspective.
Yeah.
Have you had any issues trying to do what you're trying to do? Like any hardships or any jerks that you had to deal with or anything like that?
Not as far, just more so business, related, kind of in line of, so when I was first kind of like developing this clothing line, I was working with a pattern maker, and I didn't know the process really, in its entirety. So kind of like thinking that it would be more of like a trusting relationship. I could trust what they said, because I'm always like really big on keeping my word. And then it was just some things with like, they said that the product would be ready and it wasn't, some, when I asked about the price, I was quoted one price and then given a different price later, so it's like different things like that in the industry that you come across, and just figuring out how to deal with those people. So,
Got you.
yeah, usually when you kind of do me wrong one time, I'm kind of like, lesson learned, and I'll move on.
That is a good segue to research. You got to do all your research before you start spending money with people.
Yeah, it's so true, which is why now I kind of like try to do like somewhat of a vetting process, and try to reach out to people that are in the industry. And I'm like, okay, who do you know, and who do you think is reputable? Because like I said, it happens,
Your intern, did you do an internship?
Yes, I did do an internship. And that was another story right there. I was working for, do I say anybody's name?
You can.
Okay.
Or if you don't want to, you don't have to, but you can.
Okay. Well, I was working for this guy. He goes by the name Montegos in L.A., and he wanted to do a fashion show. Well, long story short, he had about 5 or 6 people, working under him. And we were doing a lot of work. The venue was going to be free and all of this. Long story short, he did not have any money to produce this fashion show at all. He never told us that, and everything was confirmed. We had models booked. We had artists booked. We had designers, we had vendors, and he did not have the money for the things that were needed, to produce the fashion show.
Like what?
He didn't have, so as far as having food, he didn't have money to get like food or drinks. He didn't have money to even pay the other staff. Like I was okay because I was interning, but he was supposed to pay the other people who were working under him. He didn't have the money to pay them. So everyone slowly just kind of started quitting, as time went on. So including myself.
And you was working for free.
I was working for free, But what got me is like I'm real big on integrity. Yeah. And once I found out he was lying, I was like, you know what? It's the dishonesty for me. Like I really don't want to fool with you if you don't have integrity. I was like, like your intentions weren't good, so it's like it's real black and white. It's kind of simple for me that way. Like,
no, I agree with that because I don't like anybody to tell me one thing and it's just be solid. If you don't have it, see who stick around. We might want to see you pull this off.
Yeah, like we could have gotten sponsors, and things like that, but like I said, it was the dishonesty for me.
A lot of times with venues like that and events like that, the person organizes it sometimes misappropriates the funds because if you have vendors and this and that, those people are paying.
Yeah.
They're paying. So just a lot of, or people just don't know what they're doing.
Right. And I think that's what it boiled down to. I think we thought that he knew what he was doing and he sold us a good dream. But as time went on, we kind of started seeing things unravel. And I was like, yeah, I don't think like he really knows, he's very disorganized, and so lesson learned there.
I've learned in this business or entertainment business, fashion business, that everything seems to be like a man's game. And all the times you can't trust men or women,
right.
But have you run into challenges being a woman trying to get ahead?
I have, I feel like, like you said, if a man is in a leadership position, I don't want to say you kind of expect it, but I feel like you have to be able to like deal with it in a certain way. And by deal with it, I mean it could just be something as simple as like, look, if you're gonna keep talking to me like that, like we're not gonna be able to work together, and that's it, because I feel like you can find your own way, you don't necessarily have to have somebody help you. Will it take you a little bit longer? Probably so, but when it comes to like respect and things like that, it's kind of like, hey, I already told you, like these are the boundaries. Can you not cross them?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like
when we hang up, not hang up, but when we in this interview, I have a story I want to tell you that I
Okay,
prefer
cool.
not to share with the people who are going to see this.
Yeah, no.
But this is going to a place where it can highlight what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is making films. Have you ever thought about trying to get your pieces to like filmmakers?
Yeah, I would love to do that. I just like don't know who, actually to contact. So I'm kind of like, like navigating through muddy water right now. But like I said, I don't necessarily know who to contact to do that. Actually like last year when I was at the Globe Theater in LA, Mama D, like she actually got 2 of my pieces, and I thought that was really cool. But like I said, if I could get it, into with some celebrities or music videos or, anything on screen, I would be ecstatic about that.
Now I got something for you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Something I'm doing. I don't want to say it all the way because we still taping.
Right.
But when we get done with this, we're definitely going to keep in touch and each one teach one.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, because I enjoy being around creative people and I like good energy.
Yes.
So you're creative and you have good energy. So
thank you. I appreciate it. Same.
And I want to see you grow. And I want everybody out there who has a talent to utilize their talents.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm not great at this yet.
I think you're doing good.
We'll see when we play it back.
You're doing real good, kid.
But the thing is, this is to gather creatives.
Right.
So we can all start knowing each other and start knowing what our capabilities are and how can we help each other.
Right.
Because somebody might see this and be like, I need this, or I need that. So I think we need to start being more of a community.
Definitely, I agree. And I think like what you just said, about learning what each other's capabilities are, it only makes you better, what I'm saying, as a person. Like you said, creating your own community. And now you have like a go-to person, It's like, so I really like that. I think that's awesome what you're doing.
Because I think, not to crap on any of the social media platforms, but a lot of them they don't really have the core people.
Right.
They got everybody's somebody or trying to look like somebody.
Right.
They just want a community of people, like even if you make furniture.
Yeah.
Like, could that furniture go in a movie?
Right.
For product placement? Like, product placement and things of that nature are important to me because I make films.
Exactly.
So it's like, in all of these businesses, fashion, music, film, it's just hard getting with the right people. So if you could get a team of the right people together, you can always make things work.
I agree. Totally.
And you know how to utilize people's strengths, and people have to also be honest with what their strengths are. That's why the guy doing the fashion show obviously didn't know his strength.
Yeah.
He could gather all these people, but he couldn't budget the money.
Exactly.
Whatever he did wrong, that's bad.
Yeah.
That is horrible.
It was. Like I said, it was definitely a lesson learned, and taught me, to like actually do my research, even if it is just an internship. It's like, let's do a little bit of research on this person, like ask some questions, like, have you done this before? How many times have you done this? So, like I said, it was definitely a lesson learned for me.
Got you. All right, we got time. We got
time?
We got a little bit of time.
Okay.
I just want to tell you, I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you.
I'm happy I met you based off of who you are. Now I know who you are. I'm really happy I met you. That's really good. I didn't know that you were that old. I thought you was a kid down there. Not a kid, but I thought maybe like 27.
No, it's the herbs. See, it's the herbs.
Yeah. Not weed, right?
No, not weed. It's herbs. A bunch of herbs.
Do you do soul food?
I do. Like, do I eat it or do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I
Collard
do.
greens?
Yeah, I
with,
do.
With turkey necks?
Yes.
Because you don't eat pork?
Right.
Yeah.
I do, and I don't have to have the meat in the greens to eat them.
Nah, I can't do it without the turkey
Yeah.
necks or turkey butts. My mom's from Alabama.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
soul food, I don't go to soul food restaurants.
Yeah.
I used to always say, I don't go nowhere where I could just open the fridge
Yeah.
and stuff is in there.
Especially if it's there, you know.
It's always there.
Yeah.
You live down south, you know that food is always
Yes.
just
You
hanging
can,
around.
it's like, yes, every day you can go get it.
Every day is soul food
Yep,
at
chicken and
everybody's
dressing,
house.
macaroni, all of that.
It's always around.
Yes.
Always around. It was can you tell us your social medias?
Yeah. Okay. So you guys could follow me on Instagram. It's Divine Apparel. So I'll spell it out real quick. DIVINE_APPAREL_T.IARA. That's Divine Apparel. So yeah, sorry about the long name. I didn't create
That's
it.
cool. Who came up with that?
Instagram came up with that,
For
like
real?
that title.
You just
but
let them give you your
yeah,
name?
I did. I was like, we'll roll with it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll roll with it.
Yo, it was super cool having you.
Thank you.
When you start growing or more projects come, or maybe one day you can come in here with your daughter.
I know, right?
Because I was going to get her too.
Okay, yeah.
But I know how busy she is.
Yes, she is.
And she would love to come in here and talk.
She would, yeah. She definitely would want to be here. She would say yes for sure.
Oh, yeah, she would. I'm telling you, me and her are tight. Like,
Yes.
your daughter's the shit.
Thank
Excuse me,
you.
because we're not supposed to curse on here.
I appreciate that.
This is Jamal Brown, and this is Out of Creative, and I'll see you guys on my next episode. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.